You never know what I'm doing before I click start recording. I get myself going, laughing. Anyway, this is another interesting video. I told you before, you can't get stopped by the highway patrol. I told you before, you can't get stopped by the sheriff's department. I told you before, you can't sing in the tabernacle choir. I've told you and told you, no matter where you are, you can't hide from Mormon weenies. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. Oh my God, now you can't go to a counselor in Utah. Here we go. This is reported in the Desert News. That's the Mormon newspaper, the Desert News. And it says, well, it's reported today, I think. Who cares? Marriage counselor will wait on sentence while prosecutors retry a second charge, screen new charges. West Jordan, just outside of Salt Lake. A man convicted of forcible sexual abuse while posing as a marriage counselor will wait for his sentence after prosecutors decide to retry one of the charges. Let me spell his name. Arturo, A-R-T-U-R-O, Tenoriso, T-E-N-O-R-I-S-O. He's 59, so, you know, he has no excuse for having a weenie out of the pants at that age. Second-degree felony. He was convicted forcible sex abuse charge in connection with allegations that he inappropriately touched a woman he was counseling, but a mistrial was declared on the second count. Tuesday, prosecutors told Judge Bryce they intend to retry that one. In light of the new trial, the judge says, well, I'll hold my sentencing off. Now, here comes some of the interesting stuff. During Taruno's August trial, two women took the stand, and each said they were referred to this counselor by their LDS bishop. And the man presented himself as a marriage counselor, though he is not licensed as such. They each testified that their first few sessions with Terreno also involved their husbands. Later, they said Terreno told them he needed to meet with them one-on-one, not one by one, one-on-one. At least he was telling the truth. One-on-one. They testified that the man emphasized his prior church callings, their shared faith and heritage, and the fact that he was related to a general authority in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. More than anything, though, he emphasized that women could trust him. Does this sound like a new and budding Joseph Smith? You 14-year-olds here in the 8th grade, come on over here. You can trust me. Oh, that bulge in my pants, it's nothing. It's just saluting the flag. I'm very, very patriotic. Oh, they could trust him. But they testified that the one-on-one counseling sessions, Sereno often focused on the subject of their sexual relationships and eventually touched them inappropriately. Defense attorneys contended that it was an issue of consent. Consent. Why are they suing him if it was consensual? Have you ever gone to a marriage counselor or any counselor and you're the client and you say to the counselor, touch me? I see a picture of this guy. Okay, he's right on here. Look at it yourself. I'm not going to criticize his face, but the women said, touch me. And then they turn around and sue him, and he says, oh, it was consensual. Oh, God, the Mormons. The Mormons! He focused on the subject of their sexual relationship and eventually touched them inappropriately. I don't think that was on the ear or the head. Anyway, defense attorneys contended that it was an issue of consent, that while Torino actions may have been morally questionable, they weren't criminal. Let me tell you something. I've never been licensed as a counselor. I have a master's degree, 2 master's degrees, and I've certainly done counseling, but not one-on-one. I've done counseling, and let me tell you something. All the counseling I did, I always had, like this right here, the door wide open. When I had a female in the room, that door was wide open all the time. This guy saying that, he was consensual, that his clients wanted him to touch their privates. It was morally questionable, but it wasn't criminal. My ass. My ass, it's not criminal. Let me tell you something. If you're in a higher position, especially in the state of Utah, a teacher, a scout leader, someone who is in charge and is looked up to and has power over the people that they're in charge of, don't tell me this is not criminal. The Mormon church is trying to slant it and get his ass off. So you can't go to marriage counselors in Utah. Look at this guy. He'll pull your panties down, and then he'll counsel you. That it was an issue of questionable morality, and they weren't criminal. They emphasized that one victim in particular never asked the man to stop what he was doing, and that when the other did object, Torino stopped. Jeez. Listen to the defense of the Mormons. You got this poor little girl in there being counseled, and he grabs her panties, and she doesn't say anything. What is she supposed to say? Mr. Counselor, would you take your hands off of my vagina? She thinks it's Mormon counseling to try to loosen her up a little bit. What a joke! Ow! The man has been supported by his family, and his wife is at his side at every court hearing. God dang it. He's innocent, he's innocent. The bishop! Damn, doesn't the bishop check the people out that he refers to? No! He thinks he's a counselor, and he's not. And so he sends them off to other fake counselors. And let me tell you something. I read one of these stories, and I don't think it was this one, but the bishop was the brother of the counselor. So there was the kickback, the Mormon money in the pocket of your panties on this one. So anyway, watch out for law enforcement, watch out for judges, and for God's sakes, if you have any problems, don't go to a counselor. Well, you can go to Mormon counselors, but the first thing you need to do is drop your panties at the reception desk. And make sure you don't ask or say, don't do it. Don't stop. Oh, don't stop. What a defense! And it's not criminal. Jeez. That to me, faking as a counselor, that should be a good 10 years in jail. And then using that fake ID, like ID theft, should be another at least 20 years in jail. And I don't understand. They say it's morally incorrect. My God, it's legally also incorrect. So you gotta love the Mormons. They'll get sex any way they can. If you're a tree in Utah, watch out, you'll get humped. A counselor with his hand down their panties, he should apply for the Utah Highway Patrol, or the Sheriff's Department, or the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. They should get together in a group session and simply talk it out. Thanks.